Hello guys, it's Glermit here. I know I'm currently like invisible, kind of. It's just unfortunately the green screen effect. I'll try my best to stay in an area where there won't be a problem. Today, guys, we're gonna be talking about Datacrons. The new Datacron set 12 is live, or it's not live in game, but it's live to see. And it looks pretty good. And I'll be giving my initial thoughts. There's some pretty cool combos you can pull off here. I'm super excited. So in terms of the stats, we have resistance penetration, armor penetration, crit chance, which is a meh, accuracy, which is meh. So you're really going to want armor penetration or resistance penetration. I think armor penetration is the one to go for here. We then have, if you go down, dark side allies. So we have whenever an ally starts their turn with at least 2 buffs that can be dispelled, they're going to gain 5% offense stacking. We then have whenever an ally starts a turn for each enemy with fewer than 4 debuffs, they gain potency. And whenever an ally grants a buff to another ally, that ally recovers health and protection. And we round it off with allies recover 2% health whenever they critically hit an enemy. For light side, we have exactly the same. It's just reversed. Then we have the faction bonuses, guys. So we have Tuskens. Whenever a Tusken ally critically hits an enemy, they're going to gain TM. And whenever an enemy takes damage from a damage over time, Tusken allies are going to recover protection and gain counter chance stacking. Really, really powerful. Guys, really, really powerful. And you have a really cool mechanic here. When the enemy team has a dot, they cannot recover health. Tuskens could be really, really strong here, guys. We then have, at the end of each turn, allies recover health and protection equal to 50% of the amount enemies recovered. The first time each ally falls below 50% health, they gain health steal and damage immunity. And then we have whenever an ally falls below 50% health, all allies reduce cooldowns by 1. And we round it up with whenever an ally has full health and protection at the start of their turn, they do 100% more damage. So for Jawas, guys, it's very, very similar. All of them are the same, with the exception of the final one and the first one. So we have, at the start of the battle, Jawas are going to gain 100% bonus protection. All enemies are inflicted with provoked for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. And then to top it off, whenever an enemy takes damage from a thermal detonator expiring, Jawas recover health and protection, gain 5% TM, and there's an 80% chance the enemy is inflicted with a thermal detonator for 1 turn. Really, really nice. Because say you have 15 thermals go off, you're going to have about 80% of them reapply, okay? Because a thermal goes off, 80% reapply. So let's say you have 15 and we times it by 0.8. You have from 15 thermals, 12 reapplying. So it's going to help you maintain success there with Jawas. Not to mention, whenever a thermal detonator expires, Jawas regain 5% health. Let's say 15 of them expire. That is 75% health. And then if you want to go to the next level, you do 15 times 5 again. There's 75% turn meter. So I can really see Jawas doing some fun things. I think possibly, and it's something I'll try on my streams, we may even see Jawas as a 2-shot to Reaver. Because through doing this, you have the protection recovery, you have the bonus protection, it's going to help with the death marks and all that, if they get applied. And on top of that, everyone on their team is going to die. Now, you might not kill Reaver, but you'll kill off everyone else and you can just one-shot Reaver after. So I think that's a really interesting team comp you could try. It's something I might try. Then we have another level 6. The first time each ally falls below 50% health, they gain damage immunity. This is quite nice. I don't think it's as good as the first one. The first one is really, really strong. Then we wrap it up, and we have at the end of each turn, allies recover health and protection to 50% of the amount enemies recovered, same as Tuskens. And this is the last 2 that are different. Whenever a debuff on an enemy expires, allies gain potency and tenacity until the end of the battle. I don't know about this one. I think there's uses, but I'm not really too keen on that one. Whenever an ally deals damage to an enemy and there's another enemy is blinded, inflict blind. This one you don't really need because I'll be talking about the level 9s in a second. Alright, next up we have Hut Cartel, guys, and this one's interesting because most of the Hut Cartel are also scoundrels, with the exception of Jabba. And I don't think it's worth running the Hut Cartel ones over the scoundrel ones because they're much stronger. So Jabba will just go about a level 6 in this, is my thought process. So we have TM, whenever they're damaged. Don't really need that. We have damage immunity. This one's nice, same as the before ones. Whenever an ally defeats an enemy, take a bonus turn. Well, that doesn't apply to Jabba because he doesn't really deal damage. You could argue that, you know, when he ults and he kills someone, he takes a bonus turn, but I think if you're at that point, you don't really need it. And then we have the first time each ally falls with 50% health, all allies reduce cooldowns by 1 and gain 10% turn meter. Not really interested. But the scoundrel ones is where the power's out with this set, guys. So we have the TM on basic. If a scoundrel ally uses a basic ability in their first turn, so the first time they use a basic ability, they're going to gain 100% turn meter, and that's massive. We then have whenever an enemy is defeated by an ally, that enemy can't be revived. We have whenever an ally defeats an enemy, they take a bonus turn. And then we have whenever an ally deals damage to an enemy, and no enemy's ability block to inflict ability blocks which can't be evaded or resisted. And we wrap it up with the blind on here as well. Now in terms of the level 9s, we're gonna have Tuskens. This one's really strong, guys. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with damage over time, inflict an additional damage over time which can't be evaded or resisted. This is on Tusken Chieftain. Also, whenever another Tusken is using any ability, he's going to be assisting. Remember, Tusken Chieftain calls an assist on a basic, and if you have the Zeta, he also gives more momentum, which can be really nice. Tusken Warrior is going to be preventing revives. We've seen this one before. Tusken Shaman, again, whenever an enemy's stunned, take a bonus turn. I don't think you really need that. Tusken Raider's the good one for me. For each Tusken ally at the start of the encounter, Raider's going to gain additional offense. Whenever a Tusken Raider uses a Tusken Ambush, dispel all buffs on the enemy and deal 20% more damage per buff dispelled. We're also getting some protection recovery there. And then, guys, I think this will make Reaver very easy because that protection recovery is going to allow you to stay alive during Deathmark. Aurora is whenever an ally uses an ability on their turn, they assist, dealing 50% more damage. But the Jawas level 9s are the best ones. It's a bit like the last set with Ewoks being the best level 9s, despite what people say. So Jawas are really looking quite good. So the normal Jawa, he's going to be giving Foresight, and when Foresight leaves, you get Evasion up. I don't think you'll really need this. I just don't really think it really applies here. It's a really cool one though. Jawa Scavenger always critically hits if able. The first time Jawa Scavenger is defeated while they're only active allies, they revive, which is insane, and they gain stealth. There you go, guys. That's the reason you want this one. Jawa Scavenger will allow you to beat such good teams. Also, the fact that they're always critting means they're always under stealth, which it's just amazing. Trust me. We're going to be doing some really fun stuff with Jawas here. Again, I think this will be a really good two-shot to Reaver. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with Thermal Detonator, Jawa allies gain 10% defense, stacking for 1 turn, and there's a 50% chance to inflict an additional Thermal Detonator. Dacha gains turn meter, not really interested. Chief Nebbit, not really interested. Jawa Engineer, whenever another ally uses an ability on their turn, Jawa Engineer assists, dealing 50% more damage, not really interested. And now we move on to Hut Cartel, guys, and there's only one here which I'm screaming and saying this is a must-have, and that is Gaurd. So the max cooldown of Muscle In is reduced by 2. If you guys are wondering what Muscle In is, it is the following ability. Let me get Gaurd up here for you guys so you can see. Muscle In is this ability, guys. So it's going to go from a 4-turn cooldown to a 2-turn cooldown. It's going to give Retribution and Protection equal to 20% of his max health while taunting. Pretty strong, okay? So we're going to be getting that on a 2-turn cooldown, and whenever Gaurd inflicts damage over time on an enemy, there's a 50% chance to inflict another damage over time. And Hut Cartels gain 10% max health, max 50%, and max protection, max 50% for 1 turn, which is really, really nice. The other thing is he's also going to be assisting, which on his basic, and this is where the dots come in, guys, he's actually inflicting damage over time. So that's kind of where that's coming in. It's a nice combo. Bush Layer, max cooldown of Inventive is reduced by 1. Whenever she inflicts a Thermal Detonator, inflict an additional Thermal Detonator for 2 turns. And Hut Cartel allies gain 10% armor penetration, max 70%, and 10% TM once per turn. It's a nice one. I just think that Gaurd's going to change more counters. I do think Bush is going to be really good, but I'm interested to see what this one does. We'll see once they're out. Chrysanthemums is pretty interesting. I'll be talking about that in a second. He reflects damage. Cad Bane, he does 45% more damage if everyone is Relic 9, 5% per Relic Amplifier on the team. Mob Enforcer, I think this one's up there with the best in this set. Whenever Mob Enforcer uses a basic ability, gain protection up 50% for stacking for 2 turns and 50% turn meter. Whenever Mob Enforcer damages an enemy with a special ability, inflict fear for 1 turn on that enemy which can't be evaded or resisted. Guys, you can mod Mob Enforcer to be the weakest on the team, and she's going to be assisting, right? Every time anyone does anything, she assists, regardless if you have whatever it's called, Jabba's buff. I can't remember what it's called now, guys. It's like man, I can't remember. Anyway, even if you have Jabba's buff, which now I'm gonna have to go look it up because I can't remember what it's called. I remember, guys. I remember. We're looking at Crime Lord. It's Hired Muscle. There we go. If you have Hired Muscle, then everyone's gonna be assisting anyway, and then she's basically gonna be giving herself 100% TM. Whenever she basics, she gets protection up for 2 turns and 50% TM. This is not locked to 1 turn. So if she assists more than once, that's 100% TM, 100% TM, 100% TM, and she's going to fear you. This is the best one, without a doubt. This one or Gaurd, I think both of them have their uses. Next up, we have the Scoundrels. We have L3. Whenever L3 uses a basic ability, gain protection. Sorry, this is the wrong one. Whenever L3 deals damage, she deals physical damage equal to 25% of max health. And whenever she gains prepared, she gains 15% TM. The prepared to TM conversion could be amazing if you want to run her in a dash team. Infinite kind of TM loops. Really interesting. Cara Dune looks really good. Whenever she removes TM from enemy, she's going to deal damage equal to 25% of their max health. And this stacks on top of Sana's max health damage that she does. And the Afrocron is back, guys. Can you believe it? At the end of any droid ally's turn, Dr. Afra is going to take a bonus turn, recover 5% health and protection. This one's insane. Can't wait to see what that does again. Vet Smuggler Han looks pretty good. Whenever he critically hits someone, he gains 10% crit damage, defense penetration, and offense stacking. And then IG-11 is just the damage based on potency. Okay, guys, so now we know all the crons. What are some fun things to look out for? Well, like I said, I think you're going to run Jabba with the Scoundrel ones, and I'm kind of inclined to say you're going to run Jabba most likely with the ability block one. I really like this one on Jabba, because this is going to kind of change the outcome possibly in Kylo battles. And then you can run it with Gaurd, you can run it with Mob Enforcer, or you could run it with Chrysanthem's level 9. Just remember, these are all Hut Cutter and Scoundrel, so if the sets work the same way the previous ones have, then you will be able to do just that. Remember, with the Phoenix ones, you could have had the Phoenix as either Phoenix or Jedi. You could roll them for both. So I can definitely see a world in which you just ignore the Hut Cutter ones and you actually go Scoundrels. Now, some of you will be saying, well, why wouldn't you run the prevention of revives? The thing is, guys, I don't really think it matters too much. Jabba's already preventing revives. I don't think it really changes too much. You may even find that Jabba's now going to go on offense full time. I mean, he does very well against Leia in current comps, and he just doesn't really go on defense right now. You know, you've got Night Sisters two-shotting. You could argue that the prevention of revives would shut down Night Sisters. That's fair, but Afra's just going to come in and wreck you because Afra's got her Datacron back. So I can see Jabba moving to offense, and if he does, I think that he could beat some really fun stuff with this team. Now, some of you will be saying, but Glurmit, Leia prevents fear on her team. Leia does prevent fear. However, that's only when she has Fearless. Otherwise, her team's not immune to fear. So I could also see a world in which Leia becomes even easier if you have Mob Enforcer in there. Or if you have the level 9 on... where are they? Level 9 on Bush Leia. That could also kind of help as well. So I can see a world in which that's going to work. Now, the next team that's kind of interesting me, I've actually got it made as a squad. It's the only one I've pre-made. It's actually going to be Wookies. Guys, Wookiees are going to beat Rey in this lineup. Like, I'm just going to put it out there now. I've been doing loads of testing with my Wookiees. I know they're high relics. Chrysanthem's there. Don't worry about him. You can put him in there if you want. I think I might try it because I think Chrysanthemum level 9 would be really, really good on a Tarful team. And I think if you go the other route, you could go Gaurd and replace Chrysanthemum there because you're going to have the retaunting in that aspect. So, this is going to be Rey. Now, why do I say this? Well, the first thing is that Rey kind of already gets slapped by Wookiees, and what you're going to find if you ramp it enough and you hold off, you will one-shot Ben, right, before he even triggers damage immunity. Like, you'll just straight up one-shot him. Scoundrels prevent revives. Now, look at this team, guys. Scoundrel, 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 not scoundrel. So as long as Tarful doesn't get the kill, they're not going to revive. So I can see a world in which this beats Rey pretty consistently. In terms of the Datacron set you're going to want to go for, the level 9 doesn't matter unless you want to go for the Chrysanthemum one there. The level 6, you'd want prevention of revives. And then the level 3, guys, you're actually going to want... if you go for the Chrysanthemum one, it doesn't matter. If you don't go for the Chrysanthemum one, you want the offense stacking. It's insane. I just want to put out that this is going to be a top tier team. As much armor penetration as you would like. Other teams that are going to be really good with this Datacron set include Sana, guys. Sana, even though she's a rebel, well, not her, but her team is a rebel, everyone except Rolo on the team is a scoundrel, and we know how that works. I can see this working. I can also see this working really well in 3v3. You could run Sana, Han, Chewie. You could also run Sana with Hondo, or you can actually go ahead and just run Sana, Kara, and Han Solo, so Stormtrooper Han, and that could also work really well as well. Other teams are going to be really good. Tuskens, right? And Tuskens with Boba Fett, Sana, Django. Again, you could make a decision on the level 6s, because here's the thing, guys. The level 6s are really good. We already looked at this one for Tuskens. Really, really strong. However, you could go and make 2 teams and run Tuskens as one team with the Tusken Raider as a weaker team, but you put the damage over time one here, which you can still apply dots. Don't worry, Tuskens can still apply for you. And then you go and you supplement that with the level 9 on Tusken Raider, right? And then the second team, you could run Tusken Chieftain, Tusken Warrior, or you run someone else like Ururu, and you actually put in Boba Fett, Son of Django. He's a scoundrel. He becomes a Tusken, but he's a scoundrel if you have the Omicrons. And in 3v3, you can run the Prevention of Revives, and that's another team there, guys. I can definitely see that working. The guy ignores Taunt, and that could be really fun. But there's the question, is that worth running over the level 6? I don't know. We'll see. Other teams that are really cool, Dash teams are back on the menu here, guys. Hondo is back and laughing and having a great time. Jawas are going to look really good. Guys, this Datacron set is a little bit niche. If you don't have the characters, you're going to struggle a little bit. But there's so many teams that benefit from this set. Maul benefits, Wookiees benefit, CLS teams benefit. Although you do currently have Rebel sets, so I don't know why you'd do that. But there's some Scoundrels over here. Just in general, the dark side or light side bust offense, JMK is going to be really, really strong here, guys. JMK is looking scary right now because Cat's going to be preventing revives again. I'm worried to see what happens there. JMK is looking really good. JMK versus Reaver is basically going to be the easiest thing ever. In fact, JMK versus Lord Vader Reaver is just going to be a straight up win, because you'll just give Cat the insta-kill, use it on Reaver, kill everyone, have the time of your life. We may also see teams such as Qui-Gon on the rise because of the buffs converted to offense. I'm excited for this set. I don't know what's going to happen long term, but I think it could be pretty interesting. Let me know down in the comments, guys. Are you excited for this Datacron set? If you are, then tell me, guys. I want to know all about it. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Glurmit, and as always, guys, have a glurming day.